Okay, here's an update from the OKTurbo shop. The Tulsa rocketry launch has been scrubbed for tomorrow. We're going to have some high winds, I guess, or forecast high winds. So I thought I'd just give you an update on this 3-inch Thor. Right now where I'm at, I've given it 2 coats of the Rust-Oleum Gray automotive primer. I've sanded those. Then after that, I kind of added some touch up with some Bondo, the Bondo single part glazing putty. That's what I use, and just kind of touch up some places on the fillets. I'll bring the camera over here and you get some close-ups of it. But then last night I gave it another coat of light coat of gray primer. So you know it takes a while for that stuff to actually cure all the way. But really, after that, I'll probably give it a sanding with some 600 grit just to smooth it out. Sometimes with the primer, you get like a little kind of rough surface. You know, if you're too far away, you know, it's starting to dry, and I just want to kind of smooth that out. So I'll give everything kind of a final sanding with 600 grit. Then I'll put the final color on. Then it'll be time for the vinyl graphics. So let me get the camera and just bring it over here. There's lots of talk about finishing, and I'm one of the guys that likes a smooth finish. I've been doing model airplanes and stuff for a long time, so that's just kind of one of the things that I like. I like the finish to look good. So I spend the time to do it, but really it's not that difficult. This gray primer sands pretty easy. You give it a couple of good coats, then you sand it, and really you can tell that the lines pretty much disappear. You might still be able to get a little bit of it, but you know, I'm trying to spend the time sanding. Things aren't perfect over here by the fillets, but there's a few little spots. But I'll do, like I said, another round of sanding with see, you can see like a little line there that needs to be kind of smoothed out. A little bit there. But it doesn't really take too much to make this happen, you know, in my mind. Of course, you know, over the years you kind of get more patient with some of these things. I already have a wall full of rockets, so it's not like I'm trying to get this ready to fly so that I can have something to fly at the field. So I did get the Aero Pack 54 millimeter. It's here, so when all this is done, I'll glue that onto there with some JB Weld. I'll attach the rail buttons. Then we get into the graphics, and I've got the graphics rolled up over there somewhere. So that's the current state of this. So the main thing with these new paints is just to go ahead and be patient and let them go ahead, and after you spray, let them basically cure for, you know, a couple of days at least. And if the weather's a little bit colder, because I just sprayed this yesterday and it still feels a little, I don't know, you can kind of tell it's not quite hardened all the way. It almost feels cool to the touch. You can tell there's still stuff evaporating out of it. So anyhow, so while we're here, I'll just show you what I did on the electronics bay. So this is the sled that SBR puts in their kit. So I put a locking JST connector here going to the FingerTech switch, and so I've bought a bunch of little bitty, good grief, they're like 2 millimeter diameter screws. I had to find screws small enough to go in those holes. So good old Amazon, go on there, 20 bucks. I got an assortment of little bitty screws that can go in those holes. So I'll make a little standoff out of probably aircraft ply, mount that to that, then that'll get mounted, or the wood part will get glued in, and with it screwed onto that inside of that coupler. Here's the RRC3 altimeter for the drogue charge. I went ahead and just extended those wires from that terminal block up to a new terminal block, because that'll be the end that's on the bottom. So that way it'll just make it easier to hook those up, and the wires will go through that hole down through the through the well nut in the bulkhead for the ejection charge. Then the main is just right there, so I'll be able to just go straight in there and hook this up. So that's how that turned out. Had a little battery tray, screwed that in, soldered the wires. So turned out pretty nice, I think. You know, looks solid. So when I go in there, there's a little bit of a gap, so I'll have to find, you know, some foam rubber or something to kind of take up the gap so it's not just rattling around in there like crazy. But anyhow, there you go. That's where we're at on the 3-inch Thor. So hopefully next time I'll have the paint on, and then we can start working on the graphics. I'll kind of show you how the vinyl graphics go. It's not being a sign guy. You know, when you're doing like single piece vinyl graphics like on these, it's, you know, I won't say it's easy, but it's not, certainly not difficult. Those are ones that came from Mark at was a Sticker Shock. So those all kind of come together. What's on the Thor is actually a big wrap. I mean, that is, you know, from there all the way to the nose cone is one big vinyl wrap. And I just haven't got the hang of it. You watch Scott Binder, you know, I think he had some videos posted on YouTube of him doing it. Of course, he does it all the time. He's kind of a sign guy too. Even on the Horizon, his Horizon kit is kind of the same way. It makes them really cool to finish, and they look really nice because that's got that cool fade on it, you know, for the Horizon. But that is a big sheet of vinyl that you roll around the tube, and it's kind of, it still freaks me out a little bit, but you'll go through that with me, and I'll show you how OKTurbo does it. So anyhow, that's it for now. Saturday morning, no launch tomorrow. Here's your update.